Both Sony and Microsoft have responded to questions about whether Call of Duty is going to remain exclusive. And I just kind of wanted to talk about the difference between these two statements and what they might mean as we decipher them, as well as a few other reactions we've heard from around the industry. Let's get into it right about now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you like my videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that bell to know when they go live. I love making them for you, so I hope you'll subscribe. All right, let's get right into this. So basically, the main thing was Sony's response. So this was the first thing that we heard after the acquisition from the Sony side of things. And it was very stern and almost like they were telling Microsoft what to do, which was, I thought it was just such a strange response after hearing this news about the acquisition. So here's what they said. We expect that Microsoft will abide by contractual agreements and continue to ensure Activision games are multi-platform. Okay. I mean, I think Microsoft always had that intention. And to me, this statement just comes off really cold. There was another statement later, but I don't understand why you would even release that statement. It's just so strange to me that you would be coming at it from that angle. I don't know which spokesperson read that. I believe it was from Bloomberg, but yeah, that was a little strange. But a little bit later, we got something a lot more positive from Phil Spencer himself, talking about the collaboration with Sony and how they want to partner in the future. Let me bring that up for you really quick. So Phil Spencer tweeted, "Had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship." And the one part of this that I think jumped out to a lot of people was our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Phil Spencer is really good at something called, I heard somebody refer to it as wordsmithing, and we're all sort of left curious, what does he mean by it? Potentially it means that just like Call of Duty is just going to keep going business as usual. It will remain on PlayStation. A lot of people have speculated that Warzone will be PlayStation, but then the campaign will be separate. Some people pointed out to me that the campaign is fairly intertwined, including unlocks and such for Warzone with at least the iterations of the game that we've seen this far. So just a few reminders about everything going on here. First of all, nothing's going to happen for like a year or 2 years. So all of those agreements, they are forward looking. And I have to imagine everything Call of Duty is going to be coming to PlayStation for at least the next 2 years. We've all been sort of thinking about this of what's going to happen with the annualized franchise, what's going to happen in the future going forward with Call of Duty and PlayStation. I think there's more at play here than we're aware of. Now, Phil Spencer, obviously, when buying the company with Microsoft, they're aware of like what Activision Blizzard has in the pipeline, what's coming down the line, what they want to do with Call of Duty. There has been some talk about stopping the annual release and, you know, giving them a little bit room to breathe, maybe come back at Call of Duty, be a little bit more creative, try a few new things. And I have to imagine there's more going on here. So maybe Call of Duty does end up going multi-platform. To me, personally, I'm a little surprised because seeing what they have done with Bethesda and how the cross-platform Bethesda games are going to be coming to Xbox exclusively, I'm just a little surprised that they seem to be indicating that Call of Duty will be multi-platform. However, I brought up wordsmithing earlier. Phil Spencer has often said things, but then, and like everybody at Bethesda and Microsoft have sort of alluded to the fact that they're being a little cagey about what's going to happen in the future. I don't think his statement is quite as cut and dry, and I think time is going to tell what actually happens with the Call of Duty franchise. Jason Schreier has also talked to a few people about what's going on here. He says, inside Activision Blizzard this week, lots of cautious optimism about the merger and Kotick being gone, excitement for more creative freedom under Xbox. There's a fear of layoffs, which is a reasonable fear because, you know, two mega companies merging, sometimes there's going to be overlap and there might be layoffs. Call of Duty could ditch the yearly release schedule. I think a lot of people are really excited about Call of Duty releasing not yearly, or at least having a little bit of a gap to catch their breath. There's a lot going on right now with the QA companies, with Raven Software going on strike. Again, nothing's really going to be able to be done for like a year. So I love the idea of Call of Duty sort of taking a break. Yeah, so that's all good. I had some other thoughts about this. Oh, so it's interesting that everybody just sort of assumes that this is like a bad thing for Microsoft to be doing. I'm very indifferent about Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. I don't really feel like it's a huge win for like a brand that I happen to like. I recognize in a business sense, it's very, very smart. They're going to make a ton of money off of the deal. Call of Duty is like the #1 selling game in the world. I think this is, if Call of Duty is going to be multi-platform, they are clearly going to have a price. There is something that is going to happen, whether that be Game Pass coming to PlayStation or something else. I'm really just trying to figure out, like, what's the strategy here? Okay, you have the biggest franchise ever, right? Are you going to ask PlayStation to get Game Pass on their system? Are you going to deliver it through a Game Pass app on the PlayStation platform? PlayStation also has their own service coming. So like, how is that going to work together? It just doesn't make sense to me that Game Pass suddenly comes to PlayStation when Spartacus is right around the corner. It's going to be interesting to see how that develops in the future. And I remember when the Bethesda thing happened, right? Everyone's like, Elder Scrolls is going to be multi-platform. Starfield's going to be multi-platform. Just you wait and see. And then like right after everything was official and signed off by the government, guess what happened? Starfield's exclusive. Elder Scrolls is exclusive. Everything's exclusive to Xbox. So time will tell what happens here. And it's really interesting that I see a lot of people making Microsoft out to be a big bad here. Now, Sony has been buying companies left and right. They bought Housemarque. They bought a whole bunch of companies, right? Insomniac being one of the biggest and one of the best developers on the market. Insomniac is making all the Spider-Man games. They're making the new Wolverine game. And as a huge comic book fan, I would love to play those on Xbox, but I own all the platforms, so I don't particularly care that they're only on PlayStation. But it's interesting to hear this. Here's what Xbox has to do from so many people online who don't seem to care that Sony does exactly what they're saying they don't want Xbox to do. I can only play Final Fantasy on PlayStation. The new Final Fantasy that's coming out, Final Fantasy 16, I believe, that's PlayStation only. That's going to launch on PlayStation only. Final Fantasy 7, still PlayStation only, right? They finally released on PC, still no Xbox version. So that's okay. All the Spider-Man games, PlayStation only. Wolverine games. Insomniac, I actually sort of understand because that's like Insomniac, God of War, those games I actually get. But something like Final Fantasy that was multi-platform and suddenly isn't. Something like Street Fighter that suddenly is only on the PlayStation platform. Those are the sort of things where I'm just kind of like, well, okay, why is that okay? But you start looking at other franchises like Call of Duty, et cetera, that's not okay. I truly don't understand the rationalization where I see people online like saying Xbox is bad and evil, but I'm like, well, Street Fighter is now PlayStation exclusive. Final Fantasy 16, the previous Final Fantasy where everybody's riding around in the car, that was multi-platform, right? But that's okay because it's Sony. I'm like, and a lot of people have pointed out if the roles were reversed, you bet your bottom dollar that Sony would be launching those games exclusively on the PlayStation platform. I am glad that hopefully this opens the line of dialogue between Microsoft and Sony and that things start to change. The crossplay fees, for example, I hope those are eliminated. I hope that things just start getting a little bit more friendly between the brands. Everybody laughed at me. I said, I think Microsoft and Sony are going to even out by the end of this console generation. Haven't heard a peep about that one since this Activision purchase. So time will tell how this all goes. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is like, it's such a big story, and I find it so weird that people are like, yeah, my team's winning. It's like, that's not really what this is about. This is more about a massive sweeping change to the industry. And it's forced a lot of people to actually think about, what does this actually mean? Because when you look at it, yeah, Microsoft has made a lot of purchases. Sony has made a lot of purchases, and we're ending up with these mega companies who just have a bunch of stuff under their belt, right? And it's interesting. It's just constantly like stuff to think about, what this means for the industry, et cetera, et cetera. Let me know what you think. Those are the first responses we have heard from Sony and Microsoft, some of my thoughts about their responses, and I would love to hear yours. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to know when these videos go live. I do appreciate everyone who's subscribed. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Thank you so much to all of the members. I think I got to update this list because we got a few more. But thank you so much. If you would like to become a member, hit that join button. You can check out the full episode of Paul versus Destin, where we talk about our reaction to the merger and everything. That's going to go up for everybody on Sunday. But if you want early access, it's available now. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.